children of the night, and welcome to Tarot Nights with the Hanged Empress. Here we do shadow work following the moon.
Yo, VI, play the beat.
Well, hey there, kids. We're moving right on into our Leo first quarter moon. And the song that has been rising up with this solar-powered energy in our quarterly moon is giving me Archbishop of Harold Holmes. There's this rise. It's really in the music and the way that the energy climbs in that song, but also I've got that one line that keeps going through. God spoke to me, told me he was going to give you a big money blessing. And it's like, big money blessing. Well, that sounds nice. That sounds cool. But at the same time, before I even shuffled, we've got the five of cups and the 7 of cups on this side for our top and bottom energy, just tapping in. And with this half light, half dark sort of dynamic that we have going on, it feels like that. It feels like the rise of the sun, the rise of the energy, the rise of what the sun represents in its positivity, strength, growth, abundance. But at the same time, we're coming up out of this darkness, and we really don't know where our big money blessings are. But where? What? Where? You say. I feel this feeling rising up, but for where? Where do I go? What is our direction? It almost feels a little lost. But it's here. It's right there. Out of the hopelessness and the lost feelings of the dark side of the moon, we are illuminated. We find our big money blessings or our emotionally rich blessings. We find our salvation. This card on this side always gives me salvation, rescue, safety, coming out from a horrible experience and finding that safety and security again. There's a comfort in this place and space. Even though they've lost everything that they could have known, we've got each other. Interrupters? Might be interrupters, we'll see. On the top and the bottom now, the sun rising on the side of death, and the Ace of Swords, claiming that truth. This one's for the truth seekers. This one is for the ones who have been lost, wandering, a little bit listless, a little bit lost. We're starting new. Sun, the Fool. New beginnings are just on the horizon. Something's picking up, something's kicking up. That's right, put the 4 of Swords back in there. There's no time to hesitate. It's time to move. It's time to get our feet stomping into the ground. We are just opening up into Taurus season as well. I had to spread it. I had to know. Where are we going? What are we doing? Queen of Swords. Turned away. Iced out. Can I even grab all these cards at once? Wow. Okay. Queen of Swords. Iced out. Turned away. Turned back. The cold shoulder. The cold air return? The cold air return. This is it's like a chute. It's a space in your HVAC system that returns the cold air, that pulls it out. Something in that Queen of Swords is returning cold air or pulling it out of the system. Yeah, okay. Accepting the ice, accepting the freeze, and letting it be returned. Into the Hermit and the Eight of Swords. Though we're not unbound, we are learning how to find our own light, how to seek our own light, how to carry and hold our own light, our own heat source. Pellet stoves. I was watching this little bit about this like cool machine that grinds up leaves and packs them down into pellets. Why aren't we all just making our own pellets for heat? Good question. You can do that with sawdust. Like it's a really cool reusable resource, way to reuse resource. Taking and picking up all of the trails and all of the lines as we pace ourselves through this time. Yeah, whatever cold air you're receiving is being returned, and the heat that you are generating is self-powered. It's self-powered heat. It is self-powered light. It is independent. I don't need anybody else. I don't need any of you. I don't need any of you. Okay. Okay. You know, sometimes we get like that. Sometimes we have those moments and those times. It can feel hopeless, but there's a quiet peace on her face. She is finding that stillness in this moment of being bound and appreciating that stillness, even though, like, I want to say that it wasn't on purpose, but it also feels a little intentional. It also feels a little bit intentional, as if you wrapped yourself up into this for the sensory deprivation that would give you the sight beyond sight, to see beyond what is right in front of your face, to look past the veil and see from the inside what truly gives light and what is casting shadows. This is the time when God speaks to you in those quiet moments. So stop thrashing. If you're feeling bound, stop thrashing in your chains and your binds for just a moment and take a breath and remember that the thing that brings you the most peace is stillness. So being still and appreciating that, even in an uncomfortable space, at least it's still, at least it's quiet. At least now I can see things beyond what my eyes would have deceived me into thinking was a reality that was not my own. So what reality is your own? The Chariot will not go back in. Refuses. It refuses to go back. Once you find your way out of this entanglement, there is no coming back. There's no going back. The road behind us is breaking, and whatever attachments that we had that were binding us up and holding us back no longer have power. That chain will break. Can we get you that? Let me focus real good. You see the chain break in there. Unchained, unbound, moving forward. 10 of Pentacles. There's something just around the corner. There is something out there for you that is just tailor-made for you, built for you. A structure, a foundation. I'm putting those at the crown, at the top. That 10 of Cups, that 10 of Pentacles, that fulfillment, that closing of the cycle. Opening up. It's that aha moment. Oh, that's what this is all for. This is what I had to learn how to do. And what I had to learn how to do was everything that I wanted to do in the first place. Aha. Now we here. Now we got it. Now we got it figured out. Now we know what it is that we want to do with our time, with our lives, with our energy, with our resources. And we needed that moment of clarity. We needed that moment of quiet. We needed everyone to turn their backs. We needed everyone to fall deaf. I'm just seeing like people like covering their ears with wax to prevent themselves from hearing the screams of others. But that is the cycle that is closing. With all of the aspects and the way that the stars are aligning right now, this is the opportunity for us to see what it was all for. It's that transition back into masculine energy, being more dominant, being more ruling, but it had its time. But that energy had its time where it was under scrutiny, it was looked at, it was examined, and all of the things that came up out of it, though there is still a lot of resistance, the perspective has changed. We have learned what is toxic and what is healthy, and we are promoting. People are coming together to teach others and to share with others how to be a better masculine energy, a better representation, to step into that protective role. You want to fight good, fight for what's right, not for your own selfish purposes. Finding your place and taking your seat, finally understanding again what it was all for. Because there were parts of it that were very uncomfortable. There were parts of it that were very cold, very sharp. It was listless and it seemed to be hopeless. But what was learned, what was gained, what light was revealed in that darkness was the guiding light to move out and move towards a better reconciliation between masculine and feminine. After their time apart, they're so happy to be back together, to get started again, to move forward hand in hand, side by side, working together as a team for once. We all understand who we're supposed to be, what it is that we're supposed to do, and what it is that we're not supposed to do, where we're not supposed to participate, where something might be out of our league, out of our reach, out of our skill set or capabilities. There's somebody else there to make up for those parts. So you don't have to stress yourself about those things, because somebody else has got that. And what you got is what they want and what they need. And we're complementing each other again. Finally, a compliment. I'm going to kill you to be nice. Just be polite, to be kind and caring to everyone. Because if you didn't know them, If you didn't know somebody, you didn't know what their opinions were, where they stood, what their beliefs were, but you saw them and they were in danger, would you cover your ears with wax to block out the screams and continue to bury your head in the sand? Or now that you have seen what darkness is and what it can do, will you stand up? Will you help them? You may not agree with them. That doesn't change the fact that they're a person and they need help just like the rest of us. And contributing and offering what it is that you have of assistance to others continues to grow that goodness, regardless of who they are, where they stand right now. Rather than victim blaming and saying, well, you shouldn't have been standing there, don't question why they were standing there. Just know that right now, they need you to act. So act, move, make a move, take an action, be the salvation. This isn't about just saving yourselves. Jewel. I wasn't sure when that song was going to come in, but I knew it would. I think it was Pluto. When we do Pluto, that's where I was really thinking about it. But we're not that far yet. We'll bring it out now. But who will save your soul? You become the salvation. You save yourself, but also the world and environment around you. This is very interesting. There's just a lot of firepower and focus on doing what's right. I don't have anything else. That's it. This is the seed. This is what we plant. Now take it, plant it, give it water. Be the knight in shining armor. Be the safe space for others. It's not about comparison or comparing who had it worse. It's about doing something to make it better. Better for you, better for everyone. Make the world a better place, kids. That's what Leo Moon is here to remind us of. This is what we're beginning. This is what we're starting to do. So take those steps. Make those actions. Those chains, those binds, those restrictions, those things that are blocking your thoughts, they're about to break. Give it another good pull. Give it another good try. Keep tearing at those binds. Keep wriggling yourself free. Don't give up. Find that inner strength. Find that inner sun, that inner light, and that inner guidance that tells you what it is that is right for you. And bring that out into the world. Because the world needs a hero. Okay, so there's that one 80s song, I Need a Hero, but there's also Weezer's Hero. And I think that is the dualistic, that is the dualistic energy. Again, we're half dark, we're half light. We are climbing up towards the light. That doesn't mean that the darkness ceases to exist. It is still just as present as that light. But making the choice and turning the tides, changing the direction in which the energy flows to get you just enough resistance, just enough resilience, and just enough strength to finally break free, move forward, close out the cycle, and begin anew. Thank you, kids. We'll see you next time.